Okay, I have to talk about what just happened in the WNBA. Seriously. Picture it though. A neon green thing comes flying out the stands and just skids across the court during a live game. A player looks over, her face just screaming, "What the hell is that?" The broadcasters go dead silent for a beat before one just says what we're all thinking. Well, this is a first. What was it? With the game literally tied and everything on the line, the court gets invaded by that. And you're not going to believe this, but that was the only second wildest thing that happened in the league that night. You have to see this stuff to believe it. So I'm going to show you guys the clip right now. I have to mute the audio due to copyright purposes. But check it out, man. Now I know y'all guys just seen that droplet just drop. Look, it dropped and I just skid across the floor. I'm gonna replay it again. Boom, right across the floor. Game tied, fourth quarter, like 50 seconds, 55 seconds on the clock. Shot clock is 1 second. Look at this joint. Look. Drop. Boom. Boing. Go right across the floor. So it had even caused the police officer to come out and pick that up. I'm going to say that. There we go. That. I'm not going to say it. I don't know how YouTube is, but that. And they discarded it from the court. So look, it was absolutely unhinged night in the WNBA. One of those evenings where the bizarre stuff happening on the sidelines completely hijacks the game itself from coast to coast. Two different games produced two of the most chaotic, unbelievable moments I have ever seen in pro sports. One involved a fan taking things way, way, way too far, and the other involved a halftime show going horribly, horribly wrong. And we're breaking both down. First, let's go to College Park, Georgia game, Atlanta Dream versus the Golden State Valkyries. And the scene is tense. It's a total nail biter, tied 75-75 with about a minute left in the fourth. Every possession is critical. The players are locked in. The crowd is on its feet. This is what pro basketball is all about. And then, out of nowhere, something genius in the stands decides to make their own contribution, stopping the entire game, which you guys seen on the screen, and leaving everybody completely floored, right? Leaving everybody completely floored by that, right? So let's get into the nitty gritty of this insanity. The Rorkies get a rebound and are pushing the ball up the court. It's a make or break possession as the play is going. A bright neon green object flies out the stands, bounces near the free throw line, and skips towards the sideline. The players see it, but they trying to stay in the zone. And the craziest part, the refs let the game go on for another 10 seconds until the ball goes out of bounds. That's when everyone finally get a second to process what they just saw. The refs call a stop to the game. The camera zooms in on the object in the entire arena. Plus, all of us watching at home has a simultaneously moment of realization. It's a bright green sex toy, and you can't just hear the shock in a commentary's voice as she trails off saying, "Nobody's picked up the object yet. Nobody's picked up the object yet." And oh my gosh, the other announcer didn't pull any punches. Inappropriate. Get them out of here, whoever it is. Now watch the players. At first, it's total confusion, but as the reality sinks in, you see this wave of disbelief mixed in. Let's be honest, pure amusement. In the post-game press conference, Rorky stars Cecilia, how you say her last name? Cecilia San Lucini and Tiffany Hayes were just losing it when asked about the whole thing. And I want you guys to hear what they had to say about the whole thing, right?
Once we started to get stops again, when it started to go our way. At the end there, did you guys notice when something was thrown on the court? Like, what happens like when something like that happens? Is that like super distracting?
I mean, first of all, it was super dangerous, and then
Yeah.
when we find out what it was, I guess we just started laughing. Never seen anything like that, but yeah, I'm just glad we were through that. Even through that situation, we stayed up game, we stayed concentrated. We got a stop on the other end, so it was big.
Do you know what it was?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, one of our players almost got hit with it, so that's very dangerous.
Yeah.
We persevered.
All right, so that was the priceless reaction from San Lucini. She starts by pointing out the danger, but she can't stop herself from smiling. I mean, first of all, it was super dangerous, and then we found out what it was. I guess we just started laughing, she said, right? And I never seen nothing like that. You heard Cecilia say that. So Hayes sitting right next to her, jumped in and remind everyone how close this was to being a disaster, and about one of their players almost getting hit, but they got preserved. And that's the thing, isn't it? It's a moment that's so absurd, it's hilarious, but it's also unbelievably reckless. An athlete could have stepped on that and tore an ACL, career-ending injury right there. And the cleanup was just as surreal. After a short delay, you see the police officer scroll out onto the court, and someone hands her a towel. It looked like a she officer, and they just unceremoniously scoops the thing up and walks it off the floor, finally letting the game get back on track. During the stoppage, the PA announcer had to remind everyone that throwing objects on the court gets you immediate media ejection, which is standard procedure. And the WNBA's fans' code of conduct is brutally clear. A guest who engage in throwing objects or attempting to enter the court will immediately be ejected from the arena. And somehow, after all that chaos, the Varourkis locked back in. Cecilia Celestini drained a clutch jumper with just under 4 seconds left, and Golden State escaped with a wild 77-75 victory. It's a massive testament to their professionalism that they could refocus after that kind of dangerous, bizarre interruption. But the absolute madness didn't stop in Atlanta. A little earlier that same night on the other side of the country, this was happening while Finn was making headlines for the wrong reasons. The mascot for the Los Angeles Sparks was having a very, very bad day at the office, family. And I want you guys to check this out because the getting just keep on getting, right? It just keep on getting. So check this out. Boom. Little razzle dazzle right to the head. Knock the darn puppy out. Dang. So, over there in Los Angeles, the Sparks were hosting the Las Vegas Aces. During halftime show, the Sparks mascot, Sparky the dog, he got sparked, all right, is on the court during this thing, pumping up the crowd with some acrobatic performers, typical halftime entertainment. You roll the tape. I showed you guys in the roll the tape. I rolled it again. Let's roll the tape. Sparky is just standing there minding his own business when one of the acrobats launches into a series of backflips, but either the performer completely misjudged the space or Sparky missed his cue to get the hell out the way. And the result was absolutely brutal. It was just a wham to the wham bam, little razzle dazzle to Sparky head. Sparky seemed to be okay, but the acrobat's feet connected squarely with Sparky head, sending the poor mascot flying backward on the hardwood. And it was a direct, and for a second, it looked genuinely awful. The entire crowd just gasped. The reaction from people sitting courtside are once again priceless. And you see this mix of wincing and hysterical laughter as nobody is sure if that was a planned bit or a legitimate accident. And the arena staff even replayed the whole thing on the Jumbotron so everyone could get a second look at the incident. So thankfully, this story has a happy ending because Sparky, being a total pro, wasn't seriously hurt. He actually came back out later in the game to finish his duties, but with a huge cartoonish bandage slapped on his head as a nod to the collision. He played it all perfectly and got a mascot cheer or a massive cheer from the crowd. And it was a moment of pure accidental physical comedy that just piled up on another layer of absurdity to an already chaotic night for the league. Right. And then during the game, when it came to Russell Westbrook and Serge Ibaka, Oklahoma legends, were actually at the game. I want to show you guys. So it's an amazing thing to see the NBA stars come out and support the WNBA as it continues to get more spotlight and more eyes and more traction. So that's also a phenomenal thing. Players supporting players, from different different sides of the league, but basketball as a whole. So Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan at the Los Angeles Sparks game. There you go. And this was them chopping it up, as you guys can see on the screen. Just talking. But I show that because a lot of people, as you guys see on the post, Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan talking at halftime during the Sparks versus Aces game, and Westbrook's been linked to the Kings as a primary free agent target. And if he signs this offseason, the two will join forces in Sacramento, obviously. Let me know what you guys think about that duo. But, however, I want to just talk about this. From flying sex toys to flying mascots, this was without a doubt one of the most unhinged nights in recent WNBA history. One incident was shocking, dangerous, a breach of conduct from a fan that could have ended a player's season. The other was a moment of pure, unadulterated slapstick comedy. In both events, in their own messed up ways, say a lot about the growing pains and the massive surge in popularity the league is experiencing. And with more eyes on these games than ever before, the probability of both incredible and incredibly strange moments just skyrockets. And the fan incident, while good for a laugh after the fact, is a serious wake-up call about player safety. Athletes deserve a safe place to complete from free from disrespectful and dangerous garbage being thrown at them. And it's why the WNBA has a fan of conduct and it's no space for hate campaign. And this just proves how critical those are. And the mascot getting decapitated, on the other hand, is just one of those perfectly weird sports moments that will live on blooper reels for the next decade. And it was a night that perfectly captured the modern sports experience, a cocktail of high stakes drama, legitimate safety concerns, and a viral meme worthy absurdity. So I have to ask, what was the wildest part for you? The fans' insane decision making, or the mascot's unfortunate run-in with an acrobat? Let me know in the comments. And if you live for breakdowns of crazy sports moments like this, do me a favor and subscribe. And thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one, family. Peace.